Yeah, I just have to say this, right? These folks on the right, objectively, are brilliant. They understand human proclivities, human psychology. They are well versed in the history of the various groups in this country, non black, white, and whatever. They know what makes us tick. Well, at least they thought they knew what makes us tick with respect to black people, because black people this time around, we flipped the script on them. We are acting in ways that they didn't expect we'd act, because they're looking at decades of how we respond and what we do. And they were hoping to elicit the same predictable response from us this time, but we threw them for a loop. But that's besides the point. The point I'm making is that they're dead on the money where the average American is concerned, right? We're on the money. Most Americans, most regular people, cannot exist in a constant state of, or heightened state of alarm, anger, fury, frustration, shock, disgust in perpetuity. We can't do so. It is physically impossible. Our hypothalamus and different parts of our brains cannot operate like that. So the natural tendency for human beings is to normalize a constant irritant or constant stimulus. That's not just biological, it's socially, it's cultural, it's sociopolitical. That is true about us. We normalize certain things so we can function, because we're not designed to exist or persist in a heightened state of fight or flight, literally fight or flight culturally, fight or flight sociopolitically, fight or flight politically, 24/7. The things they're doing, big and small, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, in our face and stuff, on their very own, are supposed to and rightfully should cause huge disruptions, huge outcries of fury and venom and fire from the regular American. It should. Each one of the things they've done since January. It should. The ICE raids, all of this other stuff, the trying to erase black history, all of that stuff. The firing of the federal workers, all of that stuff. All of that stuff. Coming for the 14th Amendment, all of that stuff. The flooding the zone works, because whether we want to believe it or not, we've normalized all of this. We have. Maybe except black people. But the public at large has normalized this. And some of us, black people, we probably have to. I think there's some level of normalization that even I am doing. And most black people are. But I think us black people more than the rest of the group of us, by and large, we're still keeping an eye on what's going on. We are aware. We're watching what's going on. We're cataloging it. We're discussing it. We haven't forgotten things. So, one glimmer of hope. But the problem is, the flooding the zone works. It is working. There is too much happening, right? Almost every day, every week, to pay detailed attention to and to follow up on. There is too much to do so. And almost everything that happens weekly and almost daily requires a detailed attention, a detailed dissection, right, of the issue, and it requires us to follow up on it for us to be truly informed and make useful, necessary political decisions going forward or when we get a chance. The problem is it is too much. It is too much information. the task at hand for each American to truly take back our democracy, it is too vast a task for each individual American to do. But that is exactly what is required for each American to do to fight this. And a lot of us are, by nature, by our sociocultural nature of us being highly social organisms, we cannot do that. We are physically incapable of doing so, and we're sociopolitically incapable of doing so. At least a majority of us are. Of course, there are those like me and others on here and other platforms and certain now unleashed journalists who are doing a good job of it, keeping an eye on everything, keeping a running written and video catalog of everything that's going on. But the majority of the American public isn't. They can't. It's impossible. Daily life is too stressed. Taking care of kids is all consuming. Keeping up a job is all consuming. Doing your education is all consuming. Just everything you're doing every day is all consuming. There's no headspace, there's no energy to keep up with what must be kept up with in the detail and the sustained follow-up that is necessary. Hence I say the flooding the zone is working. I'm trying my best. I am doing the long form stuff over on my Substack, with follow-up and in-depth discussions where I'm using the tech we have now, AI, to freaking unpack a lot of these things that are going on, the major ones that I think we need to go on. I'm doing that, and I think honestly it's too much, it's too heavy, it's too dense of an of a it's too dense of an undertaking for most people to really do. It takes too much time. Even despite the fact we can use our phones to actually read things to us, turn it into an audiobook, but it takes too much time, you know. But I'm going to keep doing it because I want to leave a running catalog. I want to leave a catalog up of resource so people can go to and see what is really going on and see how it impacted us. Another thing I'm also doing too, which I'm trying to do as one of those people that is willingly and I dare say patriotically driving themselves crazy, trying to follow up and pay attention to everything. I have a running tracker, a personal running tracker that my AI is running in the background for me. It is keeping track of every single law, every single executive order, every single proposed bill, every single bill that passes Congress, every single action that happens at the state level, and it annotates it with which constitution and which constitutional amendment is impacted by it. I have a running tracker for that. And I get notifications whenever anything changes with the executive, House, Senate, and significant movements against that could go to the Supreme Court from the state level. It's a running tracker. This is how you use AI to keep abreast on things. And I also have another tracker where I predict where things are going next based on lawsuits that are being filed, based on actions that are filed, based on counter proposals that are filed and stuff. That's a concurrent tracker, concurrent table. Those are two tables I have running. So, hey, the flooding the zone is working because we're physically unable to keep up with it. And because they know we're physically unable to keep up with it, they're going to keep doing it. But I'm doing my part to keep up with it and keep a track record of it. It's a lot. It's too much. But essentially, they're depending on us not. They are using our very physical and socio-political, socio-cultural, cultural, political, natural limitations against us. The flooding the zone tactic is working. And the only way out is to counter that by actually paying attention. I'm going to close by bigging up my man Thomas DeVillen Bishop in his video that he did this morning about participation, civic engagement, civic duty. That and all is also part of it, part of what is needed. Have a good one, guys.